Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. TGIF, right? All right. Uh, y'all remember a couple of weeks ago that I had mentioned to everybody, watch what happens after Christmas. The layoffs are going to begin to start. Yeah. Okay. Looks like that's what's happening. Okay. Listening to Potato Joe, I created 14 million jobs. No, you didn't. Okay. Considering nearly 11 million of them were people going back to work after COVID, you don't get credit for those. And telling somebody that they get a part time job working at McDonald's isn't considered creating a job. Okay. There's a big difference in the world between jobs and careers. Jobs are what high school kids get to make some spending money. Careers are what people get to put food on the table and pay the mortgage. Okay. You know, what are you doing? I mean, if you've been doing the same thing for more than a year, you're in a career. Okay. I mean, and whatever it is. I mean, even if it's McDonald's, if you're there, that's your career path. Except that's getting destroyed. Now, if you go back to, say, the 70s, the 80s, whatever, and the Soviet Union, not that I don't have a good source of what life was like there, you know as well as I do that pretty much the government owned everything. You went to the government grocery store, you went to the government hardware store, you went to the government clothing store, and whatever the government deemed was going to be for sale, that was what you were allowed to get in line to maybe acquire, right? Yeah. That's how communism works. The government owns everything. That's how Joe Biden's economy works, or at least he wants it to, where the government owns everything. I'm going to give you this. First off, talking about layoffs, and people say, oh, gee, there haven't been any. Let's talk about what we've had in layoffs since Christmas, okay, which is what I said, is that after Christmas, companies are going to start laying off. Xerox, I'd say working there be a career. 15% of their personnel are being laid off. That was announced a couple of days ago. Thermo Fisher Scientific, I'd say that would be considered a career job. They're permanently closing one of their facilities, cutting 74 jobs. Ooh, Joe's favorite, EVs, right? How about Bolt, the company that makes these chargers? Okay, laying off 20% of their workforce. Oh, Google, our hosts here, they announced at the end of December, 2 days after Christmas, they're laying off 30,000 employees. Let's take a look at Telefonica. Okay, they're in the telecommunication industry, obviously. 3,400 employees. Oh, we could look at Agilent Technology. There's a publicly traded company. 400 employees. This is what's going on. The careers are getting destroyed. Why? Because Joe wants the government to control everything. Think I'm kidding. Let's take a look at job creation, those 14 million jobs that Joe has created, and where they are, what sectors of the business world. Okay. Let's start with California. 61% of the jobs created in California in 2023 were in government, social services, or healthcare. Okay? Government jobs, ones that provide welfare or food stamps or, I don't know, aid to illegals. That's where it was. 61%, two out of every three jobs in California. Okay? Some sort of government assistance. Figured most healthcare is government subsidized. Remember Obamacare, okay? Or Medicare or Medicaid or anything like that. Most of it's government subsidized. But that's only California. Let's look at New Jersey. New Jersey had 81% of the new jobs were created in those three areas. Oregon, 89%. Think that's bad? How about Michigan? Michigan and Illinois tie here at 113% of jobs created. How can you have that? That means more people lost jobs in the private sector, if you will. I don't know, take Michigan, the auto industry. Okay. More people, the net loss of jobs was in the private sector and overcome by the gains in government, social services, and healthcare. Okay? Think about that. New York, oh, they're the winner of them all. 121% of the jobs in New York in 2023 were created in a communist society, okay, where the government controls it. Surprised, aren't you? Notice what those states all have in common? Oh, yeah, they're all solid blue. Those are the states that want communism, that want the government to control everything. And again, as I've said many times, please point me to one thing that the government has ever done that's been profitable. Post office? Maybe not. Okay. This is what we are looking at, guys. This is what you need to prepare for in 2024. Is your job safe? They are doing whatever they can to destroy the private industry and make everybody subservient to the elites. That you work for me. No, I work for, I don't know, General Motors. Oh, wait, we bailed them out. We own General Motors. Remember that? Good old Barry's term. What happens when we go into a Soviet era economy where the government owns everything? Where your job is given to you because of your political persuasion. You keep your job because you accept the communist idea of they, them, or abortion up until the moment, well, hell, abortion after the moment of birth. Okay? When you are perfectly fine with the person that gets promoted over you, doesn't get there because of merit. They get there because of their gender, however the hell they define it, or their race. You got to accept that. You're a white male, sir. I'm sorry, we can't hire you. You're a white male, sir. I'm sorry, we can't promote you. Oh, okay, I understand. That person, they need their reparations from slavery, right? You have to agree with all those things. You have to agree with, gee, Mr. Smith, we're moving Juan and Maria into your spare bedroom. We see you have a 3-bedroom house, but you only have one kid, so you have an extra bedroom. And you know what? Our city can't afford to pay for them. So, our social services program has determined that you're going to take care of Juan and Maria because that's what we want. This is what's going on, guys. And don't let it surprise you when all of a sudden the government's controlling stuff. I'm not anti-government. I have never been anti-government. We need a government. We do not need anarchy. Okay. What we do not need is a tyrannical government. We need a government that is of the people, by the people, for the people. We used to have one. Anybody who still has their head in the sand is trying to ignore this, who actually believes that the Biden tenure has done good for this country, maybe needs to go back and take a look at how life was before. George Bush may have been a warmonger, But at least he didn't screw over the American people. Donald Trump wasn't a warmonger, and he didn't screw over the American people. As big of a POS as Bill Clinton was, he didn't screw over the American people. He just screwed over everything else. But you look at where the demise of this country started, and it was Barack Obama, the great divider. Okay? And Biden's only comment was, hold my beer. Be careful. Talk to your boss. Dig your nose in a little bit about the safety of your job, about the status of your company. Ask questions. Okay? If they won't tell you, start looking. If your sixth sense tells you something stinks, it does. The days of 30 years and a gold watch are long gone. Okay? If you look at many people, generation before me, they worked for one, maybe two companies throughout their careers. I worked for 13. Okay? The kids these days, hell, if they're lucky if the job lasts 18 months. Okay? You know, consulting, contracting is the big thing. Why? Because companies don't want to pay the benefits. They don't have any loyalty to their employees. Yet it's amazing how the companies expect your loyalty to them. They don't care. It's like, oh, crap, we missed earnings by a penny. You're out of a job. I had nothing to do with our earnings. I don't care. We need to cut costs somewhere. Well, why not get rid of the guy who's making $18 million? Why don't you cut him to $17 million and keep 50 of us or whatever? Oh, no, we can't do that. He's too important. He's the one that made the decisions that caused you to lose the penny in earnings, right? This is the thing. Even in business, they are trying to get us separated. And the government is feeding right into it by doing what they can to make it impossible for private business to succeed. But I created 14 million jobs. Come on over here. We'll put you on welfare. We'll put you in the food stamp division. Oh, no problem. As long as we control you, you're okay. But you have to agree with us. Otherwise, you're out of a job. Think about that.